I don't see how you do that.
Valentine Productions. Valentine Productions.
Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome. This is Terry and Irene with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast Show. How is everybody doing today?
Busy.
Busy?
Well.
Yeah.
You just woke up. How are you busy?
I've been up for a little while.
Oh, okay. Well, it's the middle of summer here in Texas, and I'm cooking some stew. Don't judge me. I don't know. I'm just got that craving for stew in the middle of the summer. I don't know why it is. But anyway, guys, tonight we are in Pittsburgh, PA, with the gentleman Armand with Blackhart Paranormal Group out of Pittsburgh. How you doing, sir?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks for accepting the invite. I really appreciate it. I don't get up in Pittsburgh much. Already at Pennsylvania. I don't know why that is. I mean, I know there's tons of paranormal groups up there, but I don't know what's going on with those guys. Whenever I seem to reach out, I never get any feedback or anything. But maybe they just got too busy in their schedule just to come hang out with me.
Yeah, that's never a good thing. You always want to make yourself available.
Yeah, you would think, because there's so many stories that, people like yourself have and who would just love to share it. And that's what the podcast is all about.
Right.
People getting to know you, sharing your stories, and and just having fun. Quick shout out to everybody on the different social media platforms on tonight. Are you guys on Kick, Twitch, Instagram, X, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble? Welcome, guys. Welcome. You guys have any comments, please put it in the chat and I will post them. Or, or if the guests can see them, that's even better. But hey, let's go ahead and get this show started. Armand, sit back and enjoy the ride, man, because I'm going to ask you questions probably never heard before, and some you had. But I can almost guarantee you. Matter of fact, I'm going to guarantee you 100%. If you ever been on a podcast before, which I think you have,
I know.
Huh?
This is going to be the first, so I'm ready.
Oh wow! So I can ask you all the silly questions.
If you're willing to accept silly answers, you ask whatever you want.
No,
He has the silly
I
answers.
can't
I get the freaky ones.
The
I
creepy
like the one behind you, like the freaky spirit behind you.
You got something behind them that we should know about?
He's an old man.
Oh, all right. Well, hey, Armand, let me tell you a little bit about my co-host here. No, I'm gonna let her tell you. Go ahead,
No, you
explain to
tell
him.
him.
No, then you can tell him.
I'm eating popcorn. You tell him.
Oh Lord, come on. You can tell him.
I'm the
Yeah,
freaky side of everything. I see everything that walks, crawls, or dangles, or goes. Yee. I do everything that goes. Ooh, and then I see those.
yeah.
Uh,
She's a gifted individual that talks and speaks to people that are no longer here. And then for her to say that there's an old man behind you, most likely there is probably an old man behind you.
Hmm.
Irene, is it a relative or something?
he says he is. I'm wondering, did you have anybody that passed away? Not recently, a little while ago.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate. It's been, a good 10, 15 years since we've had any, at least family members pass. So
Yeah, that's what I see. He's
Mm,
just hanging around.
that's fine. I
well,
like having company.
me too. You know, me too. Well, Armand, tell me a little bit about yourself, man. Tell the world a little bit about Armand. Tell the world a little bit about Blackhart Paranormal Group. Just lay it on out there, man.
Well, I'm not a big seller of myself. I spent a long, long time in retail. And if that doesn't affect your worldview, nothing will. uh, we recently, I was fortunate enough to find a new career path in quality, which will quality assurance. That will also test your faith in humanity. But it's a good field. It's very in depth. You get to learn a lot about everything. But as far as the group goes, we are officially only about a year old. We passed our 1 year back in May. We unintentionally celebrated our anniversary up at Crescent Sanatorium, which is about an hour from here. But we have about 6 full-time investigators, maybe as many part-time. And we're kind of scattered all around the Pittsburgh metropolitan area. I'm just east of the city now. A couple of our investigators are out this way. We have people in the city. We have people just south of Pittsburgh. So it makes it easy, especially when you're trying to plan investigations. Everybody is a little bit closer to something, and you're not forcing people always to head a certain direction. So we've got a good group, a relatively new group. We've all been investigating a little bit for several years, but as a group, we're pretty new. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, for the guys that are new to the community, me personally, I would like to say welcome to the
Thank you.
community. And I'm hoping that you are able to achieve whatever goals that you and your organization have set forth. And I hope you achieve those. Whether your goal is like millions of other people, trying to figure out what is exactly going on in this world, uh, and present your findings to the world, or your goal can be out there just trying to prove, your theory that hey, spirits are real, and here's my evidence. And oh my God, really? Well, it's nice to know that I'm a handsome fella. I appreciate that, Christy. I really do. Well, I'm not always handsome, but I do it. Man, wait, stop that. But yeah, whatever your goal is, I wish you nothing but success in it. Your journey, because being a part of this community, I consider it a journey. Because you're gonna go down the roads, some roads you don't want to go down, some roads that you do want to go down. So every road that we go down is a journey. It's just like life. Life is a journey.
Right.
So
Right.
I
And everything we come across is a learning experience. Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off. Apologies.
No, you're good. You are good. I'm just trying to get some of these. Yeah. She's been so funny today. Wait a minute. No, I am not blushing. I don't think I've blushed in years, but thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate it. Now you're going to get me in trouble later. But
oh, she's listening.
Armand, tell me a little bit about your organization. What exactly are you really trying to improve? In the paranormal community. Because people have a tendency to want to prove so many different things that are out here. What is your main goal?
So my main goal, and for most of the team, is I think everybody, whether they believe in the paranormal or not, has had some sort of experience. They might not recognize it, they might not label it, but we've all had experiences. And our main goal is just to validate those experiences, to experience them. If we find something, of interest that's unquestionable, then we'll post it. And really, also to go to some of these places, we've done a lot of, and I'm sure this is true of everybody, asylums and prisons and state schools and those kind of places. And sometimes, you're lucky. If you get lucky, maybe you can tell somebody's story that hasn't been told. But, the goal of being a celebrity investigator, that's not us. We'll post if we find interesting stuff. But, we went back in May, if you're familiar with the Penhurst Paracon out in Philadelphia. And, everybody there is in a group. Not everybody's going to be famous. So we just want to go out, experience it, validate ourselves. And if we can tell somebody's story, all the better.
Yeah.
Is it, and oh my God, I'm just going to throw this out there. Is it better to tell someone's story, or is it better to tell your story?
That's a good question, because when you're telling somebody else's story, it's coming through your filter, through your lens.
Mm-hmm.
But, from that aspect, we kind of want to give those people that haven't had a chance to tell their story. And if it comes from us, then, we're just the medium for it. But yeah, it's a good question. We all, because we're not seeking internet fame or anything, we're not really looking to make it about us. We just want to experience it. And, if we're fortunate enough to be able to share something, then all the better.
Okay. Couple of questions right quick. A couple of statements just going to put up. Irene, we're going to start this one with you. And I'm going to put that out.
Okay, the old man is, I don't know if he's a family member. I think he picked it up from the sanatorium where he was at Penhurst. He just walked with you. I don't know, he's attracted to you, he's attracted to your energy. He's not he's not a real threat to anybody. I think he wants you to talk to him and I think he wants you to tell his story about what happened and how he lived and how he died. Um, he was a man that was mis mistaken for he's not he was a man that was thought he was everyone thought he was loony, but he's not loony. Um, they threw him in a sanatorium, um, just because he he didn't fix in that. He was the round peg that didn't fix in that square box. That's what he's saying, and that he was upset at his family, and he would just want you to know that he wasn't crazy.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Well,
Um,
how is it? How can a man thinking that he's not crazy? If this the first time you ever heard of this, Armand?
oh, somebody attached to me? Yes.
Yeah.
Although, you know, Penhurst, um, was a state school, and you do the tours there, and they tell you, what you said is that we often think of them as, in our lifetimes, they were mental hospitals, people with diagnosed um, mental problems. But, Penhurst in its day was very much a drop off point and most of the asylums, um,
Yep,
drop
yep,
off points for people like you said, that just didn't fit, that they didn't know what to do with. They may have gotten drunk, they may have continuously missed their bills payments, simple stuff like that. So it's not out of the question that, somebody that was labeled as crazy wasn't actually crazy,
no,
to use, that term. But
you know, it's just they might have had just was a little bit depressed or something, or they might have were going through issues mentally. But I don't think he wasn't. They just labeled him as that, which is sad because he wasn't. You
right.
know, and I think it's a shame because even people like me who saw things were labeled as cuckoos, right? And they did drop them off in a place like that. Okay, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with you. I can't deal with this. You need medicine. You're nuts. So we're gonna put you we're gonna put you in an asylum. You know, I think there's a lot of people that I think even now till now they take their parents would take them to a, a priest. This thing, this person's been uh this person's see demons, or this person's been touched by the demon, or this person's not normal in the head. So even to this day, you see people that are locked up because they're a little bit different, or they saw things differently, right? So it happens, right? People fall through the cracks. It happens, and you see more of that, and you see them being medicated to the hill too, because they thought that they were kind of in the head, right? When they're really not.
Yeah.
Which is sad. Which is sad. Which I think that has to change, right? But I don't think it's going to change even time sooner, because they'll take them to the priest, or they'll say you need an exorcism because you've been touched by the devil. I don't think so. No.
Well, I think it was more common in the old days compared to now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why that is, because I don't think the situation has changed. I just think that people has a better understanding now compared to what they did 60, 70, 80 years ago. Where you had that one child, and that one child is kind of off from the rest, and and for an example that they are this prestige family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we always got everybody in the family has that one misfit that did not fit in.
Yep.
You know, so naturally, if you don't fit in, there's a place for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
look at what happened to me. The Christian faith does not believe that empaths or people like our clairvoyants should be doing what we're doing. So they said that if you speak to anything that's not living, you've been touched by evil. Okay, or you've been hallucinating, or you're some kind of cuckoos in the head. That's what they still think. Even religious organizations, I hate to touch on that, but it's true that they don't want you to be talking to the dead.
Yeah, I mean, to some degree, and I'm not a theologian. I mean,
No.
I'm a good Catholic boy, but I mean, before the Reformation, there was a lot of communication with ghosts that needed people that had passed on and couldn't get to that next thing, and they would appear to people seeking prayers. So, you know, it is a muddy field, and you get anytime you get people involved, you know, we get involved in stuff, and we mess things up. We put our spin on stuff.
Mhm.
I'm going to interpret it differently than either one of you two, and you know, when you don't have some kind of empirical evidence,
Mhm.
you know, you're never going to be able to prove one or the other. Yeah.
The thing is that we've got evidence because we see it ourselves, right? But um the thing is that I cannot show you what I see. I can only, if you can come on the same um level, like see what I can see, I'll show it
Mhm.
to you, but I can't bring it here, this is what it is, right?
Right. Right.
It's standing right in front of me. See, I can't do that because number one, it doesn't want other people to see it. Number two, it's just showing you out of respect because you could see it. Number three, it probably doesn't want everyone else to see it, so it won't be like a circus act, right?
Right.
Because it knows that you respect its wishes and you respect it, but the other person who you're trying to show may not be on the same level as you are, may not respect it the same way as you do, and may not see it the same way as you do. So,
Yeah.
you know, but the way I see it is that I can see it. I'm showing you, believe me or not. If you don't believe me, that's fine too. If you believe me, that's fine too. So you could take it or leave it, but it's not my responsibility to hear. There you go.
I,
This is what it is.
yeah.
And
Uh, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
and I think Terry knows that because Terry and I, we've been working together for a little while on, we do things together on residentials and stuff like that. But he's seen certain things that I don't necessarily keep my eyes open because when I'm doing my business, what I'm supposed to be doing in a residential, I don't necessarily see what he sees, and he's telling me what he sees that's coming out and it's showing itself to me, and I go, okay, yeah, okay, can you see that? I go, no, I can't because I've got my eyes closed. 'Cause I'm trying to help this spirit move on. So I'm not really looking at. I'm not really have my eyes open, but he's my eyes, and he's telling me what he sees in that room or in that house or in that space. So he's my eyes, and he'll help me. He'll tell me what he sees, and I said, okay, that's good. So now it's showing itself to you. It may not be in viewing point, may be in with lights flickering on and off or whatever that's going in that space. That's what he's showing me. That's what he's showing everyone else, and for letting everyone else knows what's there, what's going on. But it's not necessarily, it can be where everyone else can see, or it can be only where the person can see. So it depends on the situation. It depends on where you are and what's there, and who's there, right? So I always say who and what, but I'm not gonna say it. I don't call it spirit. I call it person, because it's still a person to me. It's just in a different form. It's just an energy form that's different than what we are. It doesn't have a body, but it still has a mind. So, and it does have a
Oh yeah.
soul, so it does react in just in way it has a conversation with you or me.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Hey, Armand, do you think? Because I'm gonna feed off what you just said, probably about 3 minutes ago. Is evidence all we need to make for to make everything or everyone believe that there is life after death, or do we need more than just evidence?
I mean, I don't think you're, I don't think anything is ever going to evidence or even hardcore evidence. You're never going to get people to agree to, and evidence now, especially, the way you can do things with AI and on the computer. I mean, for years, you got to look, you have to have that skeptical view of evidence. But I mean, our group was at doing an investigation out in Crescent, like I said, about an hour up there. And that was a tuberculosis sanatorium. And then it was a prison. And we were in the women's ward from the sanatorium. And, we've got things rattling and shaking and nothing's moving. Nothing is physically moving. And half the group is saying yes and half the group is saying no. So even evidence, I don't know. You can have the best evidence in the world. I don't think we're ever going to get 100% agreement on that.
Mm.
Kind of
So,
went in a circle there. I hopefully answered that a little bit.
well,
I
yeah.
think,
I mean, go ahead.
yeah, I think you're right because even though you've got all the hard evidence that you see there, you've got skeptics out there who said, "Yeah, that's just something. That's the wind." Or that's a little substance that's kind of funny, or you got mold in the area, just because it buzzes in tweets, it can be evidence. But since you're in a sterile environment where you got control over everything, yeah, it does show up. But then you got these other people who say, "Nah, there's nothing there," right? Who don't believe you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
agreed.
Who are we trying? I mean, when you mention skeptics, you know, those guys, oh man, I don't know where to begin with those guys. But to me, I think, and I've had big debates about this. People say we need to focus on the scientific community more than the skeptics. Do you believe that?
I mean, I think skeptics are important,
hmm
but you have skeptics that are just arbitrary because they've already decided. So that's
Yeah,
not even really a skeptic. But as far as the scientific community, I mean, I don't know that. I mean, I really don't know what you can show the scientific community that's going to be a deal breaker with them. I mean, a lot of people of science or people of faith or are people of, you know, have seen stuff, experienced stuff, but until you can put it in a peer-reviewed document, I don't know that, I really don't know. I don't know how to answer that beyond that. Sorry, kind of talked myself into a corner.
that's okay. That's
That's
okay.
like going in the same rabbit hole, or you opening up a can of worms, right? Because you got the people who really want to believe it, but can't see it unless it comes out in front of them, until it pops out and says "boo," and then they'll be the first ones running out of the room, right?
Yeah,
But you know what? It keeps us saying nothing that not everything is paranormal, right?
right.
You've got situations that could be the heater going off, or you got situations that could be the creaky floors. So Yeah, I mean, that's true. You know, there's certain things you can debunk and there's certain things you can't debunk, right? That it only happens once. It goes, and you see it out of the corner of your eyes and you go, what the heck was that? And you say, holy cow, yeah, did you see that? Yeah, I saw that. And so if two or more of you see that, it is real, right? It does happen, right?
Yep. Yep. If
It
you have
happens.
a consensus, I mean, all it takes is one other person to validate
Mm-hmm.
what you saw, yeah, or heard or experienced, yeah.
Isn't that funny when you have the cameras running that sometimes nothing happens? As soon as you turn it off, boof, it happens. They go, yeah.
You know, it's funny. Recently, we were back to this previous Crescent trip. We were having a lot of activity. We got a really cool response that we didn't hear at the time on the video.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so frustrated because I don't know what we missed because I have a bad habit. My microphone on my camera is a separate on off. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm always turning off. I got to save the battery, right? And I always forget to turn it back on. So, you know, who knows what I missed there. But yeah, the things that happen, and, you know, that, hey, you know, you go to these places and they're not working on schedule. They're not there to
Nope.
entertain us. They're doing their thing. And whether your camera's running or not, it just always seems that the best stuff happens when,
Yeah.
when you're not ready for it.
You go,
Always.
damn, I missed that.
I mean, ain't that always the case?
Yeah.
Yeah, in my case, definitely.
Well, you know what? I think all of us had our moments when that happens. That that you know, and that's Terry. Take pictures. Take lots of pictures. There, or whatever. Over there, Terry. Take a picture over there. Take three of them. He goes. Oh, you really? Yeah. And I go. Yeah. Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes you can sense that something's really weird going on. And you can feel the air. It changes, right? It's different, isn't it? When
Yeah.
there's something around, you know, you can feel it heavy. You can feel it thicker. You can just feel it in your chest. That's ugh. Like when you were at the tuberculosis hospital, right? Did you feel it in here?
I did not. I mean, one of our other persons did. It was brief, but it was there. But, you know, I didn't have any physical. I did have my backpack tugged, but I didn't have a physical experience, a bodily experience.
When you had
Mm.
your backpack tugged, how did that feel?
Well, in this particular case, we were in the section, the newer section that was part of the state prison. And I thought one of the other guys grabbed my backpack to get something out of it. So it wasn't as much, it wasn't, you know, so much of a shock as if
Hmm.
nobody was around me. But, somebody just said in the chat, my hair, when I said, hey, who's grabbing my backpack? And everybody's over here. That's
And
when the
you're the
hairs
only
on
one
the
here.
arm go up. Yeah. And, you know, there's that slight moment of, I don't want to say fear, but that slight moment of confusion. And then the senses kick in. It's like, all right, let's get set up. What do we got? What's going on here? And then nothing
So,
else happened.
so your mind is in a different zone.
Right. You're trying to process. It's like, well, how did that happen if nobody's there? And then, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you remember where you are and
Yeah.
you get excited. Yeah.
You go, wow.
Well, you're right. How much does your body play a role when when you're out there investigating?
I mean, like Irene said, I think a big role. I mean, you can feel it. You can walk into buildings, you can walk into rooms, and it's pitch black. The building's 80 years old. It hasn't been used in 30 years. I feel fine in here. There's nothing. You can walk into rooms, and you, like Irene said before, you just feel that charge. You feel that heaviness. And that's not always the case. We've had some experiences where we've got some of our best evidence, when we were ready to walk out in a building that didn't feel all that strange. And then the V-Pod started going, the EMF detector went crazy. The V-Pod, which had never worked for us in the past, we've never had anything, started responding to us. And, you know, I think you have to use your body as the first telltale sign. And, you know, but just because you don't feel anything doesn't mean you're not going to have any interactions. It's also a good indicator. Go ahead. Sorry.
And I think that's the reason why a lot of people are skeptics, because they've experienced something, but they look at it like it's just a coincidence.
Right.
They don't look at it as a paranormal experience. You know, my hair got tugged. Like they're saying, well, hell, man, could it be a gust of wind? It's nature. Nature could probably would have just, you know, the wind was blowing. You know, I mean, until people actually get, you know, that actual evidence, I think they will always be skeptics. But I always thought that my main focus in the paranormal community is, and I always talk to Irene about this, is, you know, getting our representation in the paranormal community. You know, let's go ahead and make this an actual science, and not just a science where everybody that wants to be it can be it. You know, that's my biggest goal about, you know, being in the paranormal community, just getting that well-known acknowledgement, you know, and making sure that everybody take us serious. Hell, everybody take Bigfoot Hunter serious.
Yeah.
But
I'm
see,
saying
that's,
everybody,
you know, but
everybody
a
take
lot of
cryptos
people who believe in Bigfoot don't
serious.
believe in paranormal either. So there's a lot more skeptics who are in Bigfoot who believe in Bigfoot but don't believe in paranormal, right? So yeah, there's
And
a lot
I'm
of
just,
craziness around that too.
yeah, it's a lot. And I'm just trying to figure out, you know, what made them guys. I mean, those guys have got. I'm kind of jealous because they actually got a chair at the table and representing their community.
And
Why
we got
come we can't?
nobody. Yeah, I
Right.
know.
You know, and
I
I'm
think
thinking
ours is
maybe,
harder. I think ours is harder. Um, there's a there's a lot Bigfoot. You see, there are a lot of pictures out there, right? But if you see paranormal, there are pictures, but they're really not focused in a way that you can see a head, body, and legs and it walking around in the forest, right? So ours are not like that. And there's you can see the hairy creature, right? But ours aren't the hairy creatures. Ours are the ones that looks like a see through, right? And they'll say, "Oh, that's nothing, right?
Right.
Oh, that must be something. That must be just the wind or somebody smoking, right?"
Yeah. And I think that's something that, you know, if you are a skeptic or if you're looking at both fields, you have to take that into account. I mean, if you're talking about cryptids and Bigfoot, you have to understand we're talking about physical animals, creatures that live in the physical world. So your evidence is going to be physical, solid, at least on film or digital. Aging myself. But, you know, when you're dealing with the paranormal, you're dealing with, you know, people that have passed, non-human entities, things that, you know, are completely different. They're kind of similar fields, but you're dealing with different source material. And until I think people understand that when they look at the evidence, you can't expect the same evidence from the paranormal field as you do from, you know, the cryptid field, because you're going to get different results from something that's a living creature than, you know, a spirit or a person that's passed.
Mm-hmm.
interesting. We're gonna change the subject here a little bit. You mentioned that you're Catholic, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, does your faith play a role in what you do?
I mean, it definitely does in the sense that, I believe that people are moving on. This isn't the end. So understanding that somebody can be out there that no longer has a physical body makes it a lot easier for me to understand because, I believe there is an afterlife. Somebody, for some reason, gets lost along the way, can't let go of something, needs help, whatever. It's easier to have that understanding that there is that other side of this, beyond this life, as a starting point.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. If you just if there was somehow, some way, somebody proved that there is life, how do you think the religion aspect would change towards the paranormal community?
Well, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding on the religious side. I think, and again, I'm not trying to call people out or it was very much common prior to the Reformation time to experience ghosts that were trying to move on, and I think that gets muddled a lot. People don't. People really, there's a difference, I guess, if you look at the institution versus the people, and that's a deeper question. And I think if you are a religious person, you should believe that there's more than this life. And sometimes the expectation that people are hanging around is what a lot of people don't want to believe that. And I think we all have experienced that people are hanging around.
And also, the prayers that we say do play a big part in the paranormal field, I think. We say the Lord's Prayer to cleanse. There's a lot of things that we do use that for, and that the paranormal, I think we are religious in our own way. We believe in our own way. We cleanse by using certain prayers that work. There's certain entities that don't like the prayer, so we have to use it a different way. I'm not going to say it on camera because I don't want to do that. But there are ways that we use certain prayers for certain situations, right? And
Right.
I think that it even though the religion part of it doesn't really like what we do. Okay, acceptance is all everything, right? Not really accept what we do, but I think it is a big part of what we do. And I think that holy prayers do work on certain situations, right? And that we need it, and that if you go to church, you do the sign of the cross, right?
Correct.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit, right? So it is, you're talking about something that's no longer there anymore. The Holy Spirit, right? Where does that come in? And it is a part of spirituality. It is a part of the not of the people who are not there anymore. So what's the problem with what we do, right?
Yeah, I think people can get scared of crossing that line into
The
summoning.
unknown.
And I'm
Yes.
sorry. Yeah,
the
they,
unknown.
getting into the occult and things like that. But, you're just talking to people, or trying to anyway, and hoping they talk back to you.
Well, actually, we're giving them a story. They're trying to. A lot of them are trying to communicate and say, this is what I did. This is what happened to me. This is how I passed, and I want you to tell everybody how I passed, and I want you to bring out that story how I passed. So they're trying to communicate to us and give them a life of what really happened, right? And they're not just dead. They don't just haunt. Well, they don't just live in that area. I call you call it a haunt, or you can call it whatever. It's a haunted place, okay? Yeah, we'll use that word. Well, I hate that word, but they live in that place where they died, and that's where they restarted. And a lot of times, they're waiting for somebody who could tell their story. And I think that's what we are. I think we are the people who not only investigate, but we investigate to tell their story of how they lived and how they died.
Right. Very much so.
Very interesting. Uh, yeah, you live in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, just outside of the city, correct.
So you live like in a little suburb?
Yeah, I'm in the eastern suburbs in a little town called Monroeville. So it's
Monroeville.
just east of Pittsburgh. It's bigger,
Mm,
Pittsburgh it doesn't have a big city center, but it is, it's got a fairly big metropolitan. If you live within 2 hours of Pittsburgh, people are going to tell you they're from Pittsburgh. So, but
oh, wow.
I'm not in the city proper, but very, very close. I can be there in,
Okay. Now,
35 minutes if traffic is good.
traffic. How does the community respond to you guys when you guys are out, or when you're, in an event? How do they respond to you?
Very well. Like you said earlier, there's a lot of groups. Before we started investigating, I had no idea how many groups were out there in the area. But everything's been positive. I used to go to these work things. We used to have to go training, and we'd go out by Harrisburg, and you got to give them something about yourself. And there was a time I used to be shaking to get up and tell them, hey, I'm a paranormal investigator. And now people say, oh, have you been here? Have you been here? It's been very accepting, and everybody that I've come, you'll get some people that say, you're wasting your time, or you really do that, or what do you want, a TV show? But no, most people have been very open about, and accepting, and at the very least, everybody's at least interested a little bit. They want to hear something more.
Interesting. In your numbers, in your numbers, give me a percentage on the world that you would actually think that people believe that there's life after death.
Oh my. I think it's a lot higher than we give it credit for. Obviously, those, numbers may be skewed, but I would have to say it's high. It's got to be in the 75% range.
Oh,
at
wow.
least, I think at least in some level, people think that there is at least something after this. And of course, your background, your upbringing, your religious affiliation is going to affect that. But I think, people might not admit it as freely, in the times we're living in. But I think most people think, there's something else going on when we're done here.
Yeah, it's weird because I had an event yesterday, and I was talking to some parents at an event, and people and today's generation, they kind of scare me a little bit. Well, the simple fact is they just don't believe, or either they just caught up in everyday life. Unlike our great grandparents and our grandparents, these guys can sit on the front porch. They can get all the grandkids around and they can tell some amazing stories about the things they've seen in their life.
Right.
And I'm sitting there and I'm trying to explain to these guys. I say, hey, if you guys have any way or somehow, some way, don't believe that there's life after death, go talk to your grandmother. Go talk to if your grandmother's still alive, your great grandmother or your grandfather. Go sit down and talk to them and listen to some of the stories that they have experienced when they were growing up. But in this day and generation, a lot of people don't do that, and it's kind of disturbing because uh, it's you really need to sit down and to understand something. I mean, you have to go. Sometimes you have to go to the source, and I feel like my grandparents are the source to me experiencing something paranormal in their life. Cause to me, it seems like paranormal was different back in those days compared to these days. Now, I don't know why that is, but it seems like there has been a tweaking of everything. You know, the, back then, the grandmother seen something, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I've seen that. I mean, it's been around." But today, I just think the world might be just too fast now. Back then, it was probably a little bit slower. And people today see something, they really don't pay any attention to it. So if you don't pay any attention to it, so therefore there's no story to tell. If that makes any sense to you.
Absolutely.
Because back then days, in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, depends on where you lived at. Man, there was always something going on, and there was always a story to tell. And I just think those stories kind of fell to the wayside because one, sometimes the stories don't. It ends with the grandmother. Because sometimes others don't take that story and put it in their head and remember it so they can tell their kids. At some point, all of that stops. And I'm trying to explain this to a group of parents yesterday. Guys, if you guys want to hear some wild stories, go talk to your grandparents because believe it or not, they know more about what we do than I can possibly ever know because these guys, they lived it, they experienced it, and some of them even understand it. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy on how kids today, not kids, adults today don't really pay attention to their surroundings. They don't pay attention. They don't care. They don't want to know. You know what I'm saying? Until it slaps them in the face.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this, at least maybe not this generation, the current one, but when you talk about parents and grandparents, I think the stories are there, but it goes back to what you said about the world being too fast. Nobody's has the opportunity or is making the time to tell those stories. And it's unfortunate because it may, those stories may be lost because we're not, we're distracted by, boy, I don't want to even say, television anymore. Everybody's got their phone, got whatever else going on. It's just, those stories are there. We just need to find a way to tell them so they get moving down through the generations. Otherwise, they're going to be lost. And then this whole paranormal thing is going to be, like you said, it's going to be a literal smack in the face when somebody comes face to face with it.
Yeah. And
you're
then how you going to
see
explain
it.
that?
You're forced to see it. You say, oh, Like
Yeah.
the
Why didn't anybody tell me that? Yeah.
oh shit, right?
But the grandparents, the elders, are the ones that set off that they can that it set. To me, my grandparents set this whole thing off for me. I don't know if it was meant to happen like that because out of 15 grandkids and over 40 great grandkids, I'm the only one that's in this field.
Wow.
You know, so maybe I'm just the one that was hand selected, you know, to pursue this for everybody. Man, I don't know. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Uh, but you, as a kid, see one thing about kids, man, they're very observant.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
They can tell you, man. You think you're asleep, they think they're asleep. Man, you get into an argument with your spouse, they hear and see everything, and they'll come back and tell you, "Oh, you and mom had an argument." I'm like, "What the hell? You supposed to be asleep?" Nah, those little boogers, they're very attentive and smart. They're a lot smarter now, even though you look at them, you might not think that they are, but these kids are very smart today compared to what my generation,
Yeah.
you know, and they're putting things together. And what crazy about it is they're not using the history books that we had, even though those are a lie. You know, they're not using the math books. These things are it's knowledge based from when they were born. How is that even possible? These kids are knowing things, and I'm like, who the hell taught you, you know, chemistry, and you never took chemistry? I mean, I don't know, it's in the DNA, you know, but all that goes back to grandparents and everything, dude. You know, if your grandparents are still alive, man, please communicate as much as you can to them because they know a lot more than what they're saying. I mean, they're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you unless you ask.
Yeah.
Right.
And uh, I'm curious. I always want to know what my grandmother was doing besides working, taking care of kids. You know,
Yeah.
I just want to know. Have you guys had any community events? Have you guys held any of those events yet?
We haven't we haven't held any personally. We have we hosted one event, an investigation up at the it's called the Old Stone Jail in Cambria County for three. I think there were three other groups with us, but we haven't quite gotten out there yet. Interacting with the community at large. That is something that, you know, we're going to look into for sure. I mean, there's, especially during the summer, there's a Paracon somewhere every other week, you know. So.
Yeah, and that's one thing I like about the Northeast. I mean, the states are really small, but dude, they have Paracon. I mean, it's literally easy to drive an hour here and an hour there to get to a Paracon.
Right.
You know, but there's not too many Paracons in matter of fact, there isn't any in Texas that I'm aware of. I mean, you might have a Comic Con or a Beer Con where people go just, you know, a lot of breweries get together and they hold that. But actual Paracon, nah. So I give you guys credit in the Northeast for actually managing to put all those together, you know, and because that's a great way to, you know, to meet people and, you know, and share stories. And, you know, like you're saying, there's so many opportunities there for it to happen, you know, but where you got to take 10 hours to drive from one location to another, in some instances, that's the way it is in Texas. Hell, you got to drive 8 hours to go from point A to point B, then turn around and drive another 8 hours back. So, dude, that's 16 hours.
Yeah. For a couple hours of interaction, yeah, it's tough.
A couple of hours of interaction. You know, so I see why so many people here refuse to put one because if you build it, some people say if you build it, they will come. If
Yeah.
you build it, they're not going to come because they got to drive 10 hours, 20 hours just to kind of, like you say, for a couple of hours worth of hanging out. So
Right.
it's kind of hard here, for actually somebody put in to actually make a Paracon. It's shit, 8 hours to Dallas, 8 hours to Houston. Uh, the only major city that is even closer is like 2 hours is San Antonio.
Oh my, yeah.
So it's really hard, to do that. I mean, there's a lot of networking in Paracons. People
Yeah.
are out there hustling, and not giving that. I mean, hustling is you got to hustle, and it's not even about clicks and likes. It's not even about your YouTube channel, your Facebook channel. It's just uh, just going out and wanting to get those collaborations. Hey, dude, you're right down the street from me. Let's collaborate and let's get together. We can learn something from each other. You can teach me something. I can teach you. So I can watch you investigate. Hey, you might got something that I ain't doing right. So hey, let's figure out what's going on here. Let's do this. But still, you got those out there that don't want to collaborate, and you got those out there that just want to stick, to themselves. Rightfully so. It's a free country.
Right.
You got every right to do that.
Yeah.
But that is not the way that we do it in the paranormal community. We consider ourselves a family. Family don't do that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? If I got a location, a guy called me last night about a location here in Central Texas he wanted to come to. I was like, dude, I don't know the address, but I can give you the cross street. Go enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? And there was a lady, there was a team in Florida that came to Texas. I showed them that, and you see how it just trickles down. Now this person here wants to go. It just trickles down. I could have been a butthead and like, nope, I'm not going to show you. But what would that make? I mean, what sense would that be?
No.
Yeah.
And it's good for these. It's good for these sites as well. These old jails and asylums and prisons. If you share that information, you collaborate. You let the next group know. It gets people going there, and some of these places are just barely, surviving the bulldozer from. How long before it's a Walmart or probably a Dollar General, but that helps those places as well. You get the word out. Hey, I went here. It's a great place. This happened. Sometimes you don't be careful what you share. We have success. We didn't have success, but hey, you might. And then it's great for these places that are, keeping themselves open for teams to go in and investigate, keeps them going. And then it comes full circle. As long as we support them, they stay open, and we can keep going and investigating, and it all feeds each other.
Now, down here in Texas, there's not a lot of pay-to-play locations here. Not compared, to Pennhurst and all those locations up in the Northeast. We didn't have a lot. I mean, we've had schools where, in Pennhurst case, where there were schools that were like that, but it wasn't as big as as some of the locations you guys have up there.
Right.
So most of our locations here are really not pay to play. Hell, if you give the security guard a Big Mac or a cheeseburger, hell, they go enjoy yourself.
Right.
Go enjoy yourself. Sometimes it's not what you know. Sometimes it's who you know and how big your wallet is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
and what you willing to pay. I mean, you willing to
Yeah.
get a security guy who hasn't eaten anything, haven't ate lunch, and you give him a cheeseburger and like, hey man, I brought you this. Can we go investigate? And it's hell yeah, go give me my burger, go. It's cool like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's cool, yeah.
It's just one of those things, man, where you just how big your heart is. You know what I'm saying? If you got
Right.
a big heart and you willing to do things and buy somebody a burger, and if it's gonna get you inside, hey, I'll spend $15 on that burger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Good
I
deal,
will
yeah.
do it. You know,
Did,
uh,
one
Armand,
question. I got a
okay, go ahead.
question. Is there any place that you don't want people to visit that you've been there? Like as far as energy wise, that you feel that it's not a place to go?
So far, no. We've been very fortunate, and considering that next weekend we're doing our first non-hospital prison asylum thing. We're going out to Ohio to the Twin City Opera House. But we've done these places. I've never, in any of the places we've been, felt threatened, uncomfortable. You hear stories. This person up on the third floor doesn't like you, doesn't like people. But I can honestly say we've been very fortunate. We've been very blessed that, I can honestly say we've not run into anything like that or any place that I would have to give a warning to.
There are places that are like that, right, Terry?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That you can go there, but I would advise anybody else to go there because you don't know what you're dealing with, and sometimes it can be really, well, not the type of spirits that you don't want to engage with, right?
Right. And, like we said, there are people, if you go, if you go in and you make a fuss, and we all know the person on TV that everybody
Oh yeah.
uses as
That's
the
a demon.
example. If you go
Everything's a
in there and
demon.
you can go to a place and we can have a great time, we can have great results. You go in there screaming and yelling and being disrespectful, and I can say I've never had a problem, but if you go somewhere that I've been and not had a problem and you do stuff like that, you may have a totally different experience.
You're
Right.
gonna get your
what you
ass kicked,
give.
right? You're gonna get
I'm
your
sorry?
ass kicked. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
In places where
I
you
think
don't want.
I think respect. Well, this day and generation, I think these kids today don't have any respect for their elders. But I do think that respect was such a big thing in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. At some time, this is what all these people had. They didn't have much, but they had respect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And back in those days, respect went a long way. There's always yes sir, yes ma'am. Today, shit, no. You know what I mean? I couldn't tell you the last time I heard a kid say yes sir or yes ma'am. If it's not, other than my own.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you wondering why these young teams today are going into locations and not getting the response that they want because they're not using the proper terminology to communicate with these people.
But there are places that even though you can be the most respectful, that you can still get your ass kicked. You know that too,
Right.
right?
Well,
Right.
if they just don't like you, they just don't like you.
Yeah.
Like there's places that Terry and I have been to that I've been told to F off, right? And I said, hold on. And I said, well, I'll step back, and Terry said, well, let's go. I said, no, we ain't going anyplace. Terry, you stay right there.
Yeah. In fact, going back, I mean, I keep using Penhurst as an example, but we went in, there was a building that had just been opened and it was renovated enough that you could investigate it. It had been closed for years. I mean, decades, really. And we went in early in the night, and Pennhurst is huge. I think there's, I don't know how many buildings, dozen buildings on site still. But we went in, it was called the Industry Building. It's where they taught trades and they worked to build the site. People that were there were working. We went into this one room. We had a great conversation, a lot of interaction, a lot of responses. And, when that wrapped up, we went and did our investigation and decided, hey, end of the night, let's go back there, be a good place to wrap up. And it was just complete negative. Everything was F you, get out. I was like, all right, and my first thought is, hey, it's late in the night. This is technically it was a public investigation. There were a limited number of people. So that's, what you're saying. You can go in and have one experience. Somebody else can go in and have a totally different one. And we had both the same night. And it's like, hey, it's late. They're tired. Let's get out of here.
Exactly. And presentation has a big part to play in it.
Yeah.
Well,
you can be the most respectful person. You can be the most respectful investigator you can. You can be the most utmost humble person, but you can also get the most negative response trying to they're trying to stick it with you a different way, see how you're gonna bend, or see if you're gonna get their jollies out of you. And, and then you can turn around and say, yeah, well, that's not going to work with me, okay? No, because I'm not going to do that. And, like, I'm being the most respectful to you, and you're going to turn around and you're going to tell me to what? Like, no. Like, sometimes they do that too, just to get their jollies and see how far they can push you, right?
Right,
so
right.
Yeah, it depends. You can feel that too. You can feel that also when they're saying, I ain't gonna play with you. You're gonna be on my pad. Ha 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 ha. And I don't care if you don't like it. They're like that too. So
but sometimes I can't help but wonder when these people are cussing you out. I'm just wondering, are they really playing with you? Because let's think about it for a moment, guys. Let's think logically here. How many times have somebody's talking to you and you look at them and you say, "Oh, go screw yourself." It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a joke. But we're like, "Oh man, go screw yourself. Or go F yourself. Get the hell out of here with that crap." And you're joking with them. So how many spirits do you know that have that type of I was gonna say comedy, that they can take their jokes with them and they can be joking with us.
Or they can be real nasty, and they can be real nasty.
Or they can be real nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard to interpret that when you don't have any bodily clues to read. But like you said earlier, for us, a lot of these places are like you said, pay to play. And when we don't get much, or the responses are relatively nasty, and then you start thinking, every Friday and Saturday somebody's walking in here and telling them, hey, can you ring that bell? Yeah, I'd be kind of cranky at times too,
Like, what is your name? When did you die? How old are you?
And that's why I don't know if you guys keep hearing me. That's why I kept saying presentation is the key.
Yeah.
Dude, Armand, I'm telling you, if you was in Ohio State Penitentiary and I come knocking on your cell, hey, what's up, guy? And then I'll throw some devices that you've seen 30 million times. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You're gonna get agitated.
Right.
You're gonna get like, what the hell? Didn't I just see this dude last week?
Yeah, exactly.
Shit. I'm tired of quit knocking on my damn cell.
You want to know what my name is? That's the guy that was here last week. He'll tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I think presentation is the key. If you
Mhm.
present something new, if you present something factual, and if you come in with what Irene was saying, those 3-word sentences, dude, that pissed me the hell off. That would really piss me off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't come in my home with 3 sentences, a 3-word sentence, and expect me to respond to it. Hey, touch
Yeah.
that ball. Hey, can you do this? Hey, everything starts with a hey.
Hmm.
Yeah. Somebody had
Everything
asked.
start with a say. Why
Yeah.
not say,
Somebody had.
hey, Mister, what, sir, or you know, fella, guys? I
Yeah.
mean, there's so many words we can use, you know, but don't say hey. The one
Yeah.
thing that my grandma, man, if I call my grandmother hey, like
Yep.
what?
She'll belt
Yeah,
you in the
use that
mouth.
word.
Yeah.
Smack me right upside the head. That's a sign of disrespect. So why are we
Yeah.
doing it?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not showing respect. I mean,
No.
even though we don't mean well, it's just a normal term of of thinking and terminology. But dude, when we're out in the field, we gotta think for a moment. Just think for a moment. Um, how to actually communicate with these guys.
Yeah.
Throw
Someone
it
had
down.
asked.
I mean, throw it. Just
Okay. Oh no, I was going to say somebody had asked me, and I can't remember who it was. It was not that long ago about a investigation style. What is your style? And I think very similar to what you said. I said we are guests. We go in as guests. I ask permission. We introduce ourselves.
Mhm.
And if you go in like you said, and hey, and sit down in a circle and put a bell in the middle and dance monkeys, they're not gonna. That's because you're coming out of the gate disrespectful. So you're
mm-hmm.
going into somebody else's private space. You're going into their safe space or whatever. You're the guest.
Yeah.
Be
Exactly.
respectful, introduce yourself, ask permission. And, you're always going to be, like Irene said, you're always going to get somebody because, spirits are people, or you're going to get somebody that's cranky or pissy or doesn't want to talk to you or is just a
Yeah.
jerk. But again, presentation, remember that you're the guest in their space
Yeah.
and proceed that way. I think at the very least, it's not going to guarantee your responses, but it's going to at least get your respect from them.
Exactly. And again, like you said, respect is the key. Re-
Yeah.
Respect. Just think how powerful that word is.
Yeah.
If nobody on this planet, can you imagine what everybody would be doing if nobody respected nobody?
Yeah.
It'd be
I
fighting
think
wars. It'd be total chaos.
I think there's the other side of the coin to that one. Even though you could be most respectful, you could also be the most. You could get what you really don't want. So the other side is like always protect your space.
Yeah.
Make sure you have that round circle around you that they can't come into your body or they can't manipulate you or they can't do anything that you don't want them to do. So A, you're respecting, B, you're protecting your space. So this is as far as you can go with me. Like I don't feel comfortable with you coming any closer to me. Um so as long as you see that too on the other side of the coin, I think there's a lot of investigators that really don't see that, and they're feeling like they're feeling really off, or they don't like what's happening to them because you don't have that safety net around you that protects you from them. So they don't know any different. Okay, they think they can do whatever they want, but on the other side, You want to protect yourself
Yeah.
from what they could do to you, because they can do whatever they want to you, right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can
Excellent.
they can come into you. They can manipulate you. They can make you do this. They can make you do that. Even though a lot of people don't believe that, but it does happen. I've seen it happen, and it's just knowing how far they can push you, or knowing that they can't push you further than you want them to. And I respect you, but this is my space, and you have to respect my space as well.
Yeah. Good point.
Exactly.
And I think that's something that, and I've seen it myself, where, and I don't like it, and we put a stop to it. You get somebody that's unseasoned, or not that we're grizzled veterans, or at least I'm not a grizzled veteran. Hey, go touch him. It's like, no, don't.
You're
That's
right.
their. Don't. No, if you want somebody to touch you, that's fine. You don't give that
And
person their space. That is, to me, one of the worst things that somebody can do in an investigation, is to put somebody, to offer up somebody else.
yeah, or even touch whatever's there, whatever's in that building. Don't touch it. Don't pick it up. Don't play with it. Just leave it alone. It's not for you to touch with. It belongs to them, and don't touch it. You could see it. You could take pictures of it, but you can't touch it.
Right.
Mm.
And don't take it
Yeah.
home with you. Whatever you do, don't take it home with. Don't take it out of that environment. Don't try to take it home with you. Don't try to take it home and get it cleansed. 'Cause no, it doesn't work like that. You can do whatever you can. You can think, oh yeah, I'm strong. I'll just take it home. It's a piece that I think belongs to me, and it's calling to me, and I want to take it home with me. Don't be an idiot. Don't take it home with you, because you don't know what the heck it's gonna do with you when it comes in your environment, right?
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's crazy. Uh, Armand, do you watch YouTube a lot?
Yeah, I've started to. I get sucked in. Yeah, I do.
I don't know if you ever noticed, but there is and me and Irene talked about this last week. There is a lot of kids claiming that they have been reincarnated.
Hmm.
Uh, what do you think? What does your religion think about reincarnations?
Well, the church teaching is, this is your shot. You do the best you can, and you move on. Um, I don't know that that is true for every soul. I think some people, for whatever reason, and I can't, I don't have much insight on it, but I believe that some people may have had a second chance. I don't think everybody, I haven't seen these people on YouTube, but you see people that go to readings. Boy, there were a lot of kings and princes and queens out there, but I do think it is possible that maybe some people have another shot for whatever reason, to give it another go. But
Right.
um,
And I think most of these cases, if you look at most of these cases, 85% of them are children.
oh my,
Especially
They are children.
the ones who have passed on. Like that's the person who I saw. That's Uncle whatever, and he died in World War II. He was a fighter pilot, and he was shot down around Asia. And the boy says, "Yeah, I remember, because I was in that airplane. I was flying, and then I died, and I came back again." I think a lot of times, you see, in my country, we do believe in reincarnation, right? We do believe that if you're not happy in this life, you can come back as in a different life. Okay, so like me, I've been reincarnated a couple times. I know that for sure, because there's a lot of places that I've seen I have never been before, and I know which way to go, and I don't know how I know that, but I know it. And there's a lot of places where I saw deja vu, and it's really weird. But I don't tell anybody, because I think if I tell somebody, like, you're kind of cuckoos in the head, right? You belong on, belong in the loony bin or the rubber room. So I really don't tell anybody. In fact, I don't find anybody that can tell except Terry. Terry knows. But I think there are a lot of people, there are a lot of children who, who have died, well, elders who have died and did come back and wanted to show the people now what happened and how their lives were, and then what happened to them, and and how you could learn from their life back when. So it's like almost like a history book opening up in a different form.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah,
sense.
that man, some of the stories I hear are amazing. I mean, these kids can't be no more than 5, 6, maybe 7 years old, and some of the things that they've telling their parents, they never even knew what the hell they were. So I'm like, wow, really?
Hmm.
That
Yeah.
is, I mean, they got some amazing stories, and I know that some of these kids are they just look. I don't think they were coerced. I don't think they're in it for anything but just to tell their story.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wow. And I can't help but think, is it a choice to? I mean, some people say it's a choice. Irene said it's a choice if you want to come back and do it, right? You're saying that, well, you get a one shot and a one shot thing. That's what the church believes. But I can't help but think, it's something deeper going on around here, where if you make a mistake or you get that question, would you like to go back? And, if you say yes, and the only thing this one particular kid remembers is he just saw the light. He just looked up and saw the light and just start swimming. Oops. Just start swimming towards the light.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if that was the point where he was conceived or whatever the case may be, but he remembers being born. He remember being conceived, and he was remember being born. And then he's like, well, I was this, I was that. And the parents are like, dude, you're 3 years old. You ain't never been anything. Or you're 4 years old. Only thing you ever been was Jacob.
Yeah.
So
That,
where would these no? It's weird because none of them read the history books. None of them looked this stuff up, on the iPad. It's just that how do you come up with all this, with this knowledge, and you have no clue? Oh, I was on this battleship, blah 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 blah, and you looked that battleship up, and he's never even seen the battleship, the number, the name, the roster that was on it, and he tells you the name, and that name is on there. Oh, dude, that give me goosebumps.
yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. I think there is something to it. I don't know, much about it, but I haven't seen it on YouTube, but I've read, particularly some stories related to 9/11 where, like you said, kids 3, 4 years and old. So they haven't even absorbed it, from their parents that are talking about, flight numbers and pointing to what floor they were on and things like that.
Right?
So there, I think there is something to it. I don't know if it's a universal thing, but the stories certainly are compelling to open up that discussion. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
then
they
there's a lot of
definitely.
them, and a lot of them are, factual stories that are really hard to downplay or to, contradict.
Exactly. Armand, is your parents are still around, or they're no longer here?
No, my parents are both still around. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. How they feel about you been doing what you're doing?
The and they're going to be upset now. The only thing they tell me when I go is don't bring anybody home. So now I got to dig into that because, but
Mm.
I think they're
Now,
fascinated a little bit because I was a kid that was always, afraid of the dark. I still, you know, sleep with the TV on sometimes, but I think they're more amazed that I'm doing it. But yeah, I always get the leave it there.
If
Leave it.
there are things that you can do that you can help yourself. Like put lavender flower underneath your pillow. Spread Himalayan salt all around your bed so you can sleep less. Um, it helps. It protects you so that you don't feel that you don't want something that goes bump in the night when you're sleeping, right? Especially in this job that we do, it does happen, right? But I think in order to help you, so you can be at your mind can be a little bit more ease, is lavender really helps. Um, the flower itself, you can put it under your pillow at night. Um, uh, you can spread Himalayan salt all the way around your bed, so you can be protected at night. It's pink salt, so you can get that. You can get that almost anywhere, right? Costco sells it, Walmart sells it, I think. But yeah, that's one of the two things that you can do to protect yourself at night, so you don't.
I was going to say I like your advice. I may be the only person that I'm aware of that is actually allergic to lavender. So,
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
yeah, my eyes puff up, my throat closes up. I like the smell of lavender. It doesn't like me. But
Uh,
I
Himalayan
have a
salt.
ton
Himalayan
of pink
salt will
salt in
help you.
the cabinet. So
Himalayan salt will help you.
yeah.
It will help you.
It's weird
Um,
because yeah, that's weird. And it, I just thought about something, dude. I don't know why that is, but I've always loved lavender.
Mhm.
That is my favorite, fragrance. My wife used to get mad at me. Why are you always buying lavender? And I never knew why, but it was to protect my home from whatever the case may be.
yeah.
And I just thought about it now. Like, dude, that's the reason why I was a lavender fanatic. I just love that scent, and not knowing that you're protecting your home from what? Because at the time I wasn't into the paranormal, so apparently somebody put that in my head, lavender, to protect yourself and your family and your home from something, whatever the case may be. That
Yeah.
that is weird.
Well, let me look it up and see what else you can do aside from using lavender. Um, I know obsidian works too. You can put that underneath your pillow.
Okay.
Like get a piece of obsidian or even having an obsidian necklace or
No,
something like that. If you
just put
like, I
candy
could.
around your bed. You're good.
Oh shush! Like I could help you with that. I could make you an obsidian pendulum to put around your neck, so you could take that around with you when you go
Okay.
on investigations. Yeah, I could do something for you there. Because if you're allergic to lavender, the next best thing is obsidian.
Interesting. Okay.
So obsidian does a lot of work. It it protects against anything dark, especially in certain areas where you think you don't need it. But yeah, it does a lot of work, and especially with these negative energies, it will help you so it won't bother you in a way that you don't want it. Like there's some places that no, I don't want to go there. I
Mhm.
just said nope. But it will help you so it it will deter anything nasty happening to you. And sometimes some spirits like to hurt you indirectly by making your head ache. Sometimes
Mm,
some places will give you a headache. Sometimes some places will
yeah.
make your neck sore. Some places will make your arms hurt, or you end up coughing or something like that. It'll help you with that too. But obsidian, like this guy here, is
Oh,
really
right,
good.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I usually get for the guys is obsidian bracelets, and it works. I bought one for my son for his birthday. He wears it every time he goes to school. But yeah, obsidian really helps if you hold it in your left hand, in your right hand. It'll draw energy from. It'll make the energy come into your body, and you could feel it in your body. And it's cold to the touch, what makes it real, because it's real. Obsidian will be cold to the touch. But yeah, it does a lot of wonders. Um, even if you're if even if you may not, you may feel kind of like, oh, I'm really not liking this, or I'm kind of like it's not it's scary, but it'll help you so you won't feel so scary when you go into certain areas. Yes.
Oh, okay. Very good.
So obsidian
I think,
is really good.
yeah, I think being scared. 'Cause I got asked this yesterday. What's the difference between a day hunting and a night hunting? And and I'm like, there's no difference between day and night. The only difference, well, there is a difference. The night have a tendency of intensifying all your senses.
Exactly.
Compared to going to apparently compared to a day investigation, you're not as you know tight. You're loose, but during the night, everything amplifies up a little bit. And normally, if somebody there wants to reveal itself, it's going to do it, especially in a residential case. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and the environmental factors as well.
Oh, definitely.
I've got into things with people about, well, why do you have to do it at night? It's like, because it's quiet, and like you said, your senses are live, but also, the post office truck isn't driving through the neighborhood, and the Amazon truck, and the police sirens aren't going off, and the radio's not on, and you have a distinctly quiet environment that makes it easier to observe those things.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. Let's see here. Okay. Aman, we got a couple more questions, and we're gonna get you out of here, brother. Uh, let's see here. I just have another question. I can't think of what the hell I was gonna ask you.
No math questions.
Oh, no
Good.
maths questions.
Okay.
God damn it! What the hell? I can't remember what questions I was gonna ask you. Oh yeah, Nat, just remember. Okay, in the future, and I know you guys are just starting out, you getting your feet on the ground. Exactly what kind of paranormal organization do you want to be, or do you want your team to become?
Well, I think, we want to be, I don't want to say scientific completely, but we want to be accurate. We want to be deliberate. We want to be respectful. We want to, we don't want every time the lights light up to put it on, Facebook. We want to be as, I don't want to say middle of the road either, but I'm going to. We want to traipse that line a little bit. I think it was. I know Tap said it all the time, but I think there's an older saying that, eliminate everything that's possible and whatever's left, and that's what we want to do. We don't want to. We don't want to scream and shout and make a big noise because a door closed, but we want to see what's going on, but we do want to be able to present what we find, because we talked about earlier, I think the world needs to see the evidence when it's there. They might not accept it, but when we put it out there, we're going to say we can stand by this, which is why I think we've only got two pieces of recent evidence. We always investigated in the moment, but now that we've been documenting stuff, we've got a couple of good EVPs out there, and we've all listened to them. Everybody in the group listened to them, and we said this is good enough to go up. And that's what we want to be. We want to be accurate. We want to be deliberate, and we want to make sure that we're being respectful.
Okay, cool. Do you guys want to be a validation team where you just come in? I call you, and you will just want to come in, have you guys come in and validate just to make sure that I'm not crazy.
We've had people ask. We've had a couple of requests to do residential, and just for logistic reasons, we haven't done it. I think, down the line, that'd be something that most of us would be comfortable with doing. But I think we want to get a few more miles under our belt before, a home situation or even a business or somewhere. That's something people are dealing with every day, and I want to make sure that everybody's comfortable. We don't want to misrepresent anything to people that are living with that every day. So I think we want to get a few more miles under the team belt, and then that would definitely be something that we would like to do.
I'll tell you,
Okay.
residentials are really interesting because you're not just dealing with the homeowner or owner. You're dealing with their what's going on in their home, and they're scared out of they're scared to shitless, right?
Right.
They don't know what to do. They don't know who they can trust, and they don't know if you believe them or not, right? So they're scared as hell when it comes to a residential. And the thing is that residentials are I've got they're under my belt. I've done enough to understand and to see, and I've done enough to help. And it's not just finding out what's there; it's what you can do so that
Yeah.
they know that you're there now. Those people live there now, and you cannot live there anymore. They'll say, "Oh yeah, if they're kind, if they don't bother me, I'll let them say." It's not like that. No, 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 no. Um, you're there. That's your house now, and that's no longer their house, and they have to move on. That's the part where I come in, and that's why I say, I'm sorry. I know you lived here. I know what happened to you, but no, you cannot be here anymore. This belongs to Mr. So and so and not you. And that you have to move on in your life. You have to you, you leave, I kick you out, or I make you go, or let you go to or lead you to a different peaceful place, right?
Right.
So you give them either A or B choice, right? And I don't like the A part because the A part will make you just float around wherever, because and the B part is a lot better. I could help you go to a better place instead of just let you float around. So they you give them that choice what they want to do. But they can't stay there anymore because that's no longer their house anymore, right? So you kind of like have to be firm and be very stout about it, and you
Yeah.
can't allow them to say, "Well, no, I'm gonna live here," and they can leave. I said, "No, no, 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 no. They live here now. You don't." So it's like you have to. It's not quite. You're negotiating, but in a way, you're saying, "No, you can't stay here. They live here now. This house belongs to them. You once I know you lived there. I know that this was your house, but it's no longer yours anymore." So there is a fine line between if they can stay or if they can't. I
Right.
think that's a part of being residential so that you have to be kind of firm about, and you have to be very precise, and you can't play around because you only get one chance to get it right. Okay, that's the thing, right?
Right.
And you can't miss it out because that house can be worse than it was before you started. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
uh, I think doing enough residentials. I think I know, and I think I've seen enough. I dealt with quite a few of them, and yeah, like some of them can, and the homeowner can get really sick too. It can affect the homeowner physically, not just mentally, but physically. so they can be wolfing their hacking up in the corner, or they can be in the hospital all the time and the doctors don't know what the heck's wrong with them, right?
Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
that has happened too. And it's just a whole new different ball game.
Right.
And and Terry and I, we could help you with that one if you want to learn more about it, because it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I
It's a whole,
appreciate that. That'd be,
it's a brand new ball game, right,
yeah,
Terry? Residential's.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
brand new ball game. Two more questions, Armand. Uh, if you ever came across something dark that you know you don't understand and you can't handle, are you willing to call upon the church to help you?
I mean, yes. I mean, my first thing is, yeah, I'm getting out of there, and doing all the right things to get out of there safely. And, the church gets a bad rap sometimes,
Hmm.
but I think in the current age, um, the approach is a lot different. It's very regimented. They're going to look at everything, because they're not going to go in there and just, I mean, a house blessing, first of all, is the best thing you can do, from
Hmm.
my background. But yeah, I mean, get somebody that knows it, somebody that is familiar with dark spirits, dark energy,
Hmm.
and let them handle it. And that's actually, we're putting together a code of conduct, and that's, one of the thing is, if for any reason you get that feeling, you don't deal with it, you close out the investigation, do all your right stuff, and let somebody that's trained to handle it.
I have a case that I'm on right
Oh,
now. I'm exhausted to the point, well, I don't know. But yeah, I have a case right now that has to do with the kind of like the D word. We don't want to talk about it, but it is happen. It's going on, and I just got off the phone, and I gotta do a lot of stuff with it. Yeah, it involves a lot of cleansing. It involves children. It's very nasty. It's very dark. It's daunting. It's horrible. So, I don't go to the church, but I do have a special wizard who's helping with this. So, yeah, I mean, because I'm all the way in Japan, right? And I can't just go to the church and go, "Hey, please, can you help me?" And they'll look at me and go, "Yeah, you're a crazy woman." And then I said, "No, no, no." I just go down the list of my friends and go, "That one can help me. Okay, I'll contact that one." But there are people who are qualified to help you with the dark side, and it's yeah, it's no picnic either. You got to be strong yourself too mentally, and you got to be really grounded in order to do this. And we just helped my friend because it attacked my friend, and it'll attack anybody who's in that circle who you talk to. So yeah, and I gotta just another investigator where I have to help him too because it attacked him too. So it'll touch anybody who's involved in that case, right? So it's just like a whole new ball game.
Yeah,
Really.
that's
all
good.
right. So, okay. What time is it? We're going on an hour and 48 minutes. One last
Oh,
question.
oh, one more. I got one great. I got
All
one
right,
super
all
duper.
right.
Okay. I got a super thing. Around the world, okay, there's paranormal everywhere around the world. I think there's different countries that deal with different things. There's different spirits around the world. What would you like to see, or where would you like to go if you had funds to go someplace? What would you like to see that's really spooky around the world?
Uh, Definitely, if that's the option, I'm going, to the UK, Scotland, Ireland. I think, the history there. So much of the history is preserved. I mean, there are kings that are still turning up on their car parks, but there's still a lot of
And
castles.
there's castles.
There's a lot of
Buckingham Palace.
elemental stuff.
Buckingham Palace is opening up to tourists too. So
Okay.
you know what's like around there, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that would. I mean, I'm not. My people aren't from that part of Europe, but I think there's always been a little Anglophile in me, and I think that would serve two purposes. I think it'd be a great place to investigate all over the UK and Ireland, and it would feed my history buff a good bit.
Like that would be one underneath your belt, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Pick 2 boxes right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, check off that box.
Yeah.
Been there, done that, seen that.
And I see you got a lot of family. Most of your team members are your brother and your sister, right?
No, my sister. Most of it is people that I've worked with, and a couple people we've met on trips. But I know my nieces are on. My niece and my sister are joining us for the first time next week, going to the Opera House because it won't be as scary as the prisons. But I don't know if you're familiar with the Twin City Opera House, but supposedly there's something non-human in the sub basement. So we'll keep them up on the stage.
Why is it always a basement, right? Why is it always a damn basement?
It's a good place to hide, Who wants to go to the basement, They're always looking for, nobody's coming down here. I'm going to sit down here and hide. But, so I know a lot of them are watching. And I see the chats pop up, but I don't see them on hold. But, I know a lot of them are watching.
Yeah, a lot of them are watching. You got a brother, too?
I do not, no.
Oh, okay. He was like brother. I thought he was your brother.
No, they're just overusing the term, probably.
Well, it happens.
Or we're going to have some talks when I get back to the police.
I can't wait to go. Hey, they call me brother all the time.
Yeah.
Do you find that we need to be more in touch with each other as paranormal investigators, or like, okay, people say that, I don't know. I think a lot of us are detached.
Mm-hmm.
They want money for whatever, to go investigate your place or whatever, to go investigate that place. I think a lot of people are kind of detached and really forget what we're here for. I think when you get bitten by the same fortune bug, I think they forget what we're here for and what our goal is. And we got many goals, and we got many things that we're here to. We're here to help people. We're here to help the community. We're here so that we can all live in a happy, not happy, coexist.
Yeah,
right?
happy.
And I think there's a lot of teams out there that forget that. Why we're here for. We're not here just to expose that there's spirits there. I think we're here to show that we are a community, that we do work together, that we will help each other. Like I'm reaching out to you and I said, okay, I'll help you. I think there's not enough of us, right? I've got my list of paranormal investigators who I can turn them to reach, especially if it's too big for me to handle. And I will say that I can't do it alone, but there will be places where I can do it alone. I think that there's not enough of us who, without all the drama and garbage that goes with it, I think there's not enough of us who will be the, hey, I'm here to help you. Hey, you want help? Hey, I'm here. And I think that's why I do it. I'm on my own when I'm doing this, right? I'm just by myself, so I don't belong to anything. I don't belong to anybody. But when it comes to investigating, I will be there. I say, hey, do you need my help? Yeah, okay, I'll help you. And Terry knows that too. And I think there's not enough of us who are willing to say, yeah, I'm here. I'll help you. Just give me a holler, right?
Right. Yeah, I think we've been very fortunate, and like I said, you can't. If I go up on my roof, I couldn't throw a stone without hitting hitting another team. But we've been very fortunate. Everybody that we've come in contact with, we've done some shared investigations, we've done some collaborations. We know that people, like you said, we know the people we can reach out to. I think, touching on what you said a few minutes ago, that fame and fortune thing there, those people that, they want the spotlight and this evidence. Well, nobody, this is for us. We're not sharing it. We want the clicks for that. And I mean, you can't turn on the TV without there's something paranormal on. There's dedicated ghost hunter and haunted nation and ghosts are real channels. And there's a desire for some people to make it to that stage. And I think sometimes those people, and that you find that out. But with anything, you get, the more people you interact with, the more, I hate to say this, but yeah, the more people you interact with, the more likely you are to come across people that you're not going to get along with, that you don't. And that, it's like going to work. If you have a daytime job, you don't have to like me, but let's work together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's a hard thing for us, because we have to overcome that, and that's a hard thing to do. I'm not great at it, but I think that's a key there.
I, you know, we're a really small community, a clairvoyant community. We're a very small community, but I know that I have several people that I can reach out to and ask for help, especially my partner that I have, that I've taken under my wing, and I have helped her a lot so she can understand. I think we as a clairvoyant community needs to stick together, because there's a lot of times when we can't see it, where somebody else can't see it, and we can help each other out. I think, and help out investigators like you and Terry. I think we have to work together. We have to be together as a community, as one. And I think you can't have one without the other. And it's sad because a lot of times they don't want you, they think that you're like you're Madame Medusa and doing politics, right? But we're really not. We're very serious about what we do. And and I think we're here to help the investigator so they can get their evidence out there, so we could point them in the right direction of what, because we're just not there to do our job. We're there to help protect. We're protecting the investigators so they don't come into something like, like we don't want that, right? We don't want that. Like, oh no, oh shoot, oh hell no. Like we don't want that either. So I think we have to work together with the investigator. I think we have to make sure that you go in there, that you can come out safe. We all work together as a team, and I think that it's more of us that are needed to do that. There's a lot of us who won't come out of the closet, but who are there ready to help you if you need it. I don't know. I'm just dumbfounded by that one too.
All right. One last question, and here it is. This is for you, Irene.
Old man's still with him. Yeah, the old man's still with him. I mean, I don't feel that he's threatened. If if he does create problems, I can send him back. But right now, he's just looking, and he's not doing. He's not doing much. But when you go back to the sanatorium, I think you should put him back where he belongs. I'll take you with me. You could say that very. Look, I'm going to take you with me, and I think you should go back to where you belong, and create your boundaries, like saying you can't stay with me here, because um this is not where you should be.
Right.
Yeah. He doesn't know. He, he's lingering around you, but I don't. He's got something to do with something. That's really weird. Anyways,
Yeah,
moving on.
we'll do
They
that.
always got something to do with something. Well, guys, we're going exactly 2 hours. Armand, tell the world how to get a hold of you, brother.
We have one social media so far. That's the Blackhart Paranormal Group on Facebook. Actually, we have Blackhart PGH at yahoo.com. And that's it for now. That's all our contacts. But we will get if you do any one of those, we'll see it.
All right, man. Well, you know what? I appreciate you joining me on the show. We're just talking and, just having a good time. So I really appreciate, you coming on the show and sharing your knowledge. And again, no one has ever told you, welcome to the community. And I wish you a lot of success on your ventures out in the world. Uh, I hope you are, very, very, I hope eventually you get where you want to be with your organization because there's so many different highways and byways that you could take to get where you got to go. But I wish you a lot of success. I wish, a lot of your team members success. And I hope to hear from you again. I
Yeah,
hope this podcast was up to your liking. And I think we tried to, do a lot of different paranormal topics. I don't like staying on just on one topic.
right.
I like to spread it out a little bit because whatever we talked about, at some form, at some point, it's all connected. You
And
know what I'm
have
saying?
fun out there. Have
Yeah.
fun
Yes.
out there. Not all of this dark and dreary and another investigation. Oh God, like.
No, it's funny.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time when they say, did you get anything? Did you do this? Listen, it's like fishing. Just go and
Yeah.
you're not going to catch something every time. Just go and enjoy the trip. But
Yeah.
That's it.
yeah, I do appreciate you having me on. I had a great time. If you guys find yourself in this neck of the woods, there's a ton of places, up here to investigate. If you end up here, reach out. We'll hit a spot.
That's what I'm jealous about. You got so many good places up there.
Yeah.
But
Well, we're lucky.
we've had down here. Long story short, we have a lot of locations that it's not been heavily booted. If you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
It's not been we got locations, but a lot of people don't know anything about them. So when you are a guest to come in these locations, they're happy to see you because
Yeah.
nobody goes in there. It's literally untapped, undisturbed. Some spirits, I don't like calling them spirits. Some people will come run right up to you and be right this close because they haven't seen anyone in so long, and they're just so happy to see you.
That's
You know,
nice because it's totally different where you are than where I am. Where I am is like, I'm gonna come and get you, and I'm gonna show you who's boss. Like that's what it's like here in Japan, and yeah, no.
Um,
That's why nobody
uh,
investigates anything because it's too friggin' scary.
it's totally different. I mean, it's different everywhere we go.
right. Right.
You know, but Armand, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it you coming on. I'm going to create some reels here shortly, uh, with about some of the different topics that we discussed, feel free to take these reels and share them on your Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't think you have a TikTok yet. I don't think you mentioned a TikTok
No,
yet.
not yet.
Okay.
Yes. So feel free to share these on your Facebook, and I hope to hear from you soon.
Get
Yeah,
a hold
thanks.
of me for that bracelet, because that's my name up there. There's only one of me. There's only one of me.
Oh, there's two of you.
No, there's. See, that's the problem with Terry, okay? He always sticks his finger in a damn light socket every time, and I'm always trying to help him pull him out of it.
You
God
know what?
darn it.
Wait a minute. This podcast, we didn't even go down any rabbit holes, so we're actually good. I mean,
Not that I'll let you.
I think I threw Armand the line, but he just didn't bite on it. he didn't want to bite on some of those topics. I'm like, I'm not. I'm gonna reel it in slowly, and if I didn't get a nibble, I don't think I got a nibble out of you, man. So I just.
Well, I have to be careful because my brain and my mouth work at different speeds, and my mouth works faster than my brain, so I got to be careful.
So your brain is talking, but when your mouth is like, you don't have a filter, right?
Right. Like, what did you just say? Yeah.
Like, holy, like.
Did I say
really?
that? Why did I say that? Yeah. But yeah, I do appreciate it.
Trust me. Well, guys, like I said, it's been a pleasure and an honor to speak to you, Armand. I'll be contacting you here again in 3 months, and next time maybe we can have a couple of your other members that are with you guys to join us. You know, I like to hear other perspectives, you know, when you have a team. So I'm going to throw it out there now. When I contact you guys back, I would love to have, I just don't want to throw Armand in the fire. I like to throw somebody else in the fire also.
See,
So
he likes to be, he's a big old meanie. He's a big old meanie.
No, I'm gonna start by hook or by crook. Somebody's gonna have to get in front of the camera and share their side. Otherwise, they're gonna be stuck.
He likes to pick on people. You see, I'm the kind one, okay? I'm the caring one, but he's a meanie.
Well,
see, that balances out. So you need both ends.
Yeah, good versus evil. Good versus evil. You can't have one without the other. It's unfortunately, you're the evil and I'm the good.
Great.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, guys, thank you for the show. I really appreciate it. We are off tomorrow, so there's no podcast tomorrow. So I will see you guys next week. This is Terry and Irene with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. Peace. Bye, guys.
Love you all.
Thank you.
And thank you.
V4
Vendetta Beats Production.